You're not alone, together we stand. I'll be by your side, you know I'll take your hand. When it gets cold and it feels like the end, there's no place to go, you know I won't give up. No, I won't give in.
525,600 minutes, all within 1 year. But how many of those minutes constitute one person struggling against one issue from the next? A measure of time is one thing that universally connects people, disregarding the skin tone, culture, or age. With personality and other influences or differences set aside, the issue of facing struggles throughout life is once more a common thread that brings together people from different backgrounds and cultures. Within the short stories of The White Horse, written by Win Bottrott, and Sunny Blues by James Baldwin, it is able to be seen that even though the characters come from different cultural backgrounds, each person must manage to deal with struggles. The White Horse creates a story of Mr. Wynn, an Asian American trapped between a tug of war between living spiritually in two places while physically in one, while Sunny's Blues delves into another game of struggle between Sunny's brothers' own battle between emotions. People come in different forms and hold different backgrounds. However, backgrounds and culture set aside, each person tells a story of their own struggles throughout life. A progression of emotions and reactions are highlighted as the main focus for each of the stories of Mr. Wynn's life in The White Horse and Sunny's brother's own journey in Sunny Blues. These progressions do not merely start for the two characters. Mr. Wynn, an Asian American immigrant, is left not only to face the struggles of finances and materialism, but also an emotional struggle. For Mr. Wynn, he is left to live his life in America, yet while his soul is in America, his spirit shuttles back and forth between America and his homeland, way on the other side of the globe. He is left to deal with the struggles that are far from physical. Living in the United States, life is often seen as a golden lifestyle, but for Mr. Wynn, he is left to be judged and placed through emotional and physical struggles. Being judged turns into its own struggle for Mr. Wynn as he tries to battle with the emotions of his past. He is left in America, torn between his family back in Saigon and the lifestyle now here in America. Due to his decision to come to America, the separation of his soul and spirit leads to the struggles facing his life. While in Sunny's Blues, Sunny's brother is left to deal with the struggles that are put upon him because of Sunny's personal decisions and addictions. While delving further into the story, Sunny's brother, who controls the story as a narrator, becomes a static character while the development of Sunny is pushed into the light. Sunny's addiction to drugs is what causes for tension to be seen between Sunny and his brother. This emotional tension between the two brothers is a highlight in the story. Sunny's brother had kept it outside of him for a long time. What is it exactly? Digging deeper into his past, it is seen that Sunny and his brother went through pain and struggle. Yet growing up on the historical streets laden with project housing, it had built the two men into the characters that they are. Keeping emotions awash from himself and the public, Sunny's brother, much like Mr. Wynn, balanced on the fine line between the past and the present through his memories. These two men, three if you include the narrator or Sunny, are all consumed through the idea and mindset of a materialistic world. These struggles are of different nature, yet the two characters handle that in similar ways. Being the odd man out in society is not the ideal situation. Within America, the desegregation of minority groups into communities has become exponential. This is able to be seen that America is no longer a one-tiered country. There are many layers and tiers of culture that make up the country as a whole. Mr. Wynn and both Sunny and his brother are a cultural representation of the melting pot within the United States. Mr. Wynn builds an Asian American background for exposure, while not alone, Sunny and his brother build the idea of an African American background. Both of these stories provide an expose of types to reveal the struggle of assimilating into the American culture when you're not the cookie-cutter, all-white American. Mr. Wynn is seen like an American consumer, but being viewed as one is not the same as being one. Being judged by the public, whether at the bank or the Department of Motor Vehicles, Mr. Wynn has to struggle with himself to become American-like. Sunny and his brother grew up on the streets of Harlem, facing a new type of struggle. The streets hadn't changed, and the two men had. Even though the environment had not changed, growing up the men had matured. In these streets, the ones that had built them as the people that they are were laden with the memories of their past, presenting a struggle once more between past and present. Looking forward, however, it is seen that Mr. Wynn and Sunny's brother do not live in the past physically, rather their lives are captured in society, advancing with time. While their struggles continue on with them, with similarities of time and handling struggles unite the two characters with a common thread. While both of the short stories are in the postmodern late 20th century setting, the struggle facing Mr. Wynn is far different than the one seen for Sunny. Mr. Wynn faces the struggle of his own analytical mind. His mind being separated in two places causes for him to constantly be living in flashbacks to his life once in Saigon, contrasting with his life now in America. His mind is furthered by the turmoil between time and space that creates more complications. This turmoil is a struggle. His own mind is his worst enemy. Being separated from his family, there is a lack of connect between the relationship his mind so desires. Having to deal with the materialistic stresses that society pushes upon him causes for Mr. Wynne to recount for the loss of a young girl. Living in a postmodern society makes Mr. Wynne's life an everyday challenge, and the emotions brought about the death only add to tugging against himself. His mind becomes his own worst enemy as he battles to achieve a life in America as an Asian American, because his mind is full of the memories that become his addiction as they consume his life. While Mr. Wynne lives as an Asian American, Sonny and his brother are left in the industrial city of Harlem with their African American roots. Their background only lays the path for Sonny's addiction to drugs. This addiction is what causes for there to be a push and pull struggle between himself and his brother, the person in which the story is told from. While on the other hand, Sonny faces his own personal struggle with addiction, this is not led by society as a whole, but rather a specific niche within this society. The music scene is something that goes from being Sonny's controlling factor to something that brings him happiness. His transformation from being addicted to drugs is achieved when the idea of music no longer is providing a scene for Sonny to become involved in drugs and addiction, but rather to flourish with happiness for himself. This happiness does not come without a story behind it. Much like Botchak's writing in Mr. Wynne's memories, a flashback into Sonny's life shows that his mother and father died. These deaths bring Sonny and his brother emotional baggage, thus resulting in something more to tug at their personal psyche. This emotional baggage is something that Sonny, his brother, and Mr. Wynne must all deal with, thus once more binding the common threads together. The personal struggle to provide normality is a struggle within the two characters, Mr. Wynne and Sonny. Different backgrounds and culture is set aside, unity and struggle is possessed, and shows that in weakest moments of struggle, people are the same, even if their backgrounds are different. Disregarding the cultural backgrounds, it is seen that due to a time period that is consumed with the idea of materialism, both men are faced with having to find their identity within society. Finding a niche in which their wants, passions, and needs can be satisfied then becomes their struggle that faces them daily. While Sonny battles an addiction, Mr. Wynne is struggling with the idea of separation. Both of these men are left to struggle with society to overcome the issues that stem from materialism, and are left to pull for a relationship with family matters and personal strength. The journey for each of these men is a transgression from assimilating to American culture from an Asian or African culture. Facing issues and personal battles are situations dealt with daily for these men, and while their cultures provide a making for them, the tug-of-war between their cultural wants and the solution to the problem still exists. Struggling is a common thread that binds these two men together, which represent the different cultures that make up America as a whole.